Hello there. Some weeks ago, President Tinubu directed all political appointees who desire to contest in the 2027 general election to resign by March 31, 2026. The president also directed that all resignation letters must be submitted to the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, by March 31, 2026, in compliance with the Electoral Act and maintain a level playing field for party primaries. The resignation is a requirement under Section 88, subsection 1 of the Electoral Act 2026, which mandates political appointees, it mandates that all political appointees must step down, indeed, before participating in party primaries. By the way, the party primaries are scheduled between April and May 2026 to prevent conflicts of interest and ensure a level playing field. The resignation applies to ministers, special advisors, assistants, and, of course, heads of agencies, parastatals, and government-owned companies alike. Now, as of the March 31, 2026 deadline, reports indicate that at least 2 high-profile cabinet members have officially resigned to pursue their 2027 political ambitions, with others expected to follow or having already made sudden exits. Currently confirmed resignation letters received by the SGF include that from the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tuga, and Minister of State for Humanitarian Affairs, Yusuf Sununu. Other key officials suspected to be eyeing elective offices include the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, the Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Muhammad Ali Pati, and Minister of State for Labor, Nkiruka Onyejocha. This is Democracy Today on Africa Independent Television, AIT. Thanks for staying with us. I am Enemaku Jochegbe in Abuja, Nigeria's capital.
The stories of subscribe, engage, and share from AIT at _online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT on air, online, on live.
Thanks for staying with us. This is Democracy Today on AIT. Now, let's go to another issue. And this time, it is widespread reports and intense speculations that one of the only remaining People's Democratic Party, PDP's governors and chairman of the former PDP Governors Forum, Bala Muhammad of BAUCHI State, is gearing up to join the recently defected NNPP chieftain and former Kano State Governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso to the African Democratic Congress, ADC. Initially, indications show that there were talks at an advanced stage to move to the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC, but it appears it may no longer be a realistic political move. Now, despite the intense speculation, Governor Bala Muhammad has previously dismissed similar rumors, maintaining that he is still in the People's Democratic Party, PDP, although he has, repeatedly acknowledged that the party is facing serious internal crisis. But on Tuesday, Governor Muhammad's claim seemed to be countered after meeting with the African Democratic Congress ADC chieftain in BAUCHI State.
In BAUCHI today, at the instance of our national chairman, Senator David Mark, the national chairman of African Democratic Congress. Senator Mark sent us here because he's fully aware that the coming battle between us in 2027 to elect new people to lead Nigeria can only be successful if all the various segments of the country that have good intentions and goodwill towards the Nigerians are able to unite to stand and resist the impending disaster that is waiting for us in 2027. We are fully aware that if we make a mistake and allow this government to continue post-2027, Nigeria will probably be no more as we know it. But then we probably will be packing people of starvation in trailers. By then we'll be packing people in trailers who are unable to afford medical services and everything. And the insurgency will get to the level that they'll be moving from bedroom to bedroom, harassing and killing and maiming people. So with this in mind, the Senator David Mark sent us to speak to the BAUCHI to join the ADC because he's a noted fighter, he's a warrior, he's fearless, and his energies will contribute to what we already have in ADC. And so that's why we are here. We've had very fruitful discussions in a very friendly, brotherly manner. We understand the task before every Nigerian and the task before BAUCHI as a governor, that when he joins ADC, will do.
All right, thus there you have the meeting between the chieftains of the African Democratic Congress, ADC. You recognize that face, BAUCHI Lao. And of course, they went to visit the Bauchi State Governor. But let's see what the response of the Bauchi State Governor, Bala Muhammad, happens to be.
With a delegation from the ADC headquarters, where my mentor, my boss, Senator David Mark is leading, and he has sent an olive leaf to me to reconnect me with the umbilical cord of the opposition, where I have always emerged from. Certainly as a leader in the PDP, we have found ourselves really in a very serious ambivalence, where our party is headless, and of course I have pursued all avenues for reconciliation, but it has not worked. And our people are putting me under extreme pressure. And we have set up two committees, one in Abuja at the national level, because of my position as a leader of the party on the other side, and one here to look at where to go. We let all our options on the ground, including APC itself, but certainly we have discovered that we cannot be where we are not wanted. We have to find a place within the opposition. This is where our fate and political destiny is taking us to. And ADC appears to be a very enduring and, of course, luring, a more acceptable platform by the people that are talking to me so far. But because I'm managing two constituencies, Bauchi and the Federation, we will try, if we are doing something, we do well. If we are doing well, we have to come together with all the parties, all the interests in the PDP.
All right, there you have it. The governor of Bauchi State, Bala Muhammad. There's a response. The coming days will definitely, reveal what his final move will be. But at the moment, I have joining me via Zoom our correspondent in Bauchi State, Suleiman Issa. He joins me now via Zoom. Thank you very much, Suleiman, for joining the program tonight. I'm sure you are up to speed with the interesting developments regarding the political calculations in Bauchi State. What can you tell me from what has been happening so far, from what you have seen in the last few days in Bauchi State? Suleiman, could you unmute your device so I can hear you? Have you done that? I still cannot hear you. I believe the microphone on your device is muted. Could you unmute it so I can hear you?
Yeah, it's on now.
I can hear you loud and clear now. Please go ahead. I can hear you. Go ahead.
Good evening. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Thank you very much for joining. Please go ahead. Suleiman, can you hear me?
Hello?
I can hear you clearly. It appears there's a static in the connection already. Suleiman, I can hear you loudly. Can you hear me now? All right, we're going to have to re-establish the connection with Suleiman Issa so that he can, give us the situation, regarding the political calculations in Bauchi State. But for now, let's take a quick break. Then we'll come back and reconnect. Don't go away.
The issues as they break. The multitude, the political figures, the state and non-state actors.
It's a serious threat to democracy.
And our government seem to be incapable of protecting.
The scheming.
This is not a period we should sit back and go.
Every part of this country is equal.
The intrigues.
There can be no one person that is bigger than the party.
Deft moves and the momentous declaration.
We didn't get any protection.
I'm not particularly against anybody.
We track and capture them all.
I don't believe we got federalism in our politics.
Follow in-depth analysis and no-holds-barred interviews.
Armed forces of the country is well capable. They need the political will.
Are they just waking up from sleep? Is there complacency?
Feel the pulse of happenings in the political arena on AIT Democracy Today. Widely acclaimed authority on politics. Monday to Friday, 7 p.m. Nigerian time.
Thanks for staying with us. This is Democracy Today on AIT. We will still try to reconnect with AIT's correspondent Suleiman Issa in Bauchi. But for now, in the lead up to the 2027 general elections, Plateau State remains the focal point of Nigeria's security crisis, with recent escalations in violence increasingly linked to political maneuvering. Now, the state has experienced a significant surge in deadly attacks, most recently in Angwan Rukuba community, Jos North local government area, on Palm Sunday, March 29, 2026, where a 48-hour curfew was recently imposed following the Sunday night attack that killed over 26 residents. Now, analysts suggest the persistence of insecurity acts as a form of indirect disenfranchisement, weakening communities and potentially suppressing voter turnout in the 2027 elections if safety cannot be guaranteed. Now, there are ongoing calls for electoral reforms to ensure that 2027 elections are transparent, as many believe that post-election violence is often fueled by a lack of trust in the election results.
Violent crimes and attacks by gunmen is common in Plateau State, often occurring in farming and rural communities, suffering years of invader and reprisal violence. But what happened in Angwan Rukuba on Sunday night was different. The area is a suburb of Jos, with a number of shops, and serves as a meeting point for evening sit-outs. And being Palm Sunday night, people were either buying, selling, or having a good time. That was when the celebratory evening turned into a dark night, leaving the once vibrant community in deep sorrow and grief. Just after midday on Monday, the death toll had risen to 27 lives. Many injured are still receiving treatment at the hospitals. Marksmen on motorbikes arrived and in the most unsuspected manner began spraying bullets on innocent bystanders, shoppers, and anyone who simply was there. For many here, it wasn't a random attack, but a well-coordinated, violent assault.
We realized that they are Fulani Malaysia. Some of them were having camo. There is the army uniform. They started spraying bullets on people.
This was not an unintended attack. This was well calculated, well-intentioned, and then well executed. And
we're calling the government to go out and fish out those people who were speaking ill of attacking people severally. Because if we allow this to keep going, I am telling you, we're going to have a lot of casualties.
The pain of victims and survivors seen here on this woman tending to her loved one, bleeding from the wounds. Scenes like this have turned sorrow into anger, and the people have displayed the bodies for the world to see. Shortly before midday, Plateau State Governor Caleb Mutfwang arrives for an on-the-spot assessment. He is not in his usual executive official car, but in an armored vehicle. Clearly a cautious visit, both for security reasons and uncertainty over how the public will react. Governor Mutfwang begins by addressing the crowd from the top opening of the truck. But soon, the crowds demand that he comes out to speak to them. He assures residents of government's determination to get to the root of the crisis, adding that some suspects have already been arrested in connection with the attack.
Please, I beg you, let's allow the corpses to be taken to the mortuary so that we can plan a decent burial.
Meanwhile, security agencies say they are working around the clock to maintain order in the area, now gripped by grief, anger, and tension.
Grief, anger, and tension. These are the words that describe the people of Jos North at the moment. And it is their earnest desire that these killings, unprovoked killings, come to an end as soon as possible. Nigerians are earnestly yearning for that day. Let's try to reconnect with Suleiman Issa in BAUCHI one more time. Perhaps, the odds are in our favor now to, let us speak to him to see what the political situation in that place is. Suleiman Issa, thanks for joining us one more time. What can you tell me regarding the political calculations in BAUCHI at the moment? We hear interesting things about the governor and moving to the ADC, but it's not certain yet. So what can you tell me regarding all of that?
Yeah, good evening and nice to join you. As you know, politics is dynamic, and BAUCHI State regarding Governor Bala Mohammed can be described as uncertain, driven by both political internal crises and future political calculations ahead of 2027. So as it is now, the governor is in PDP. So
Suleiman, go ahead. I can hear you.
yeah, the governor is still in PDP, despite the consultation that is still ongoing. Like 2 days ago, he set up a committee. The committee is to be chaired by him regarding the political crisis to find a way out or a solution on the political direction, on the whether to remain in PDP or to look for another political party.
Okay.
So coming back today, as he hosted some party leaders, ADC leaders, led by BAUCHI Lawan. So the governor may likely, or he make his final decision on Thursday 2nd, that he is going to join maybe ADC or another political party. But he said ADC is more prepared platform to join. So that means we should wait on Thursday to hear whether he's going to join ADC or another political party.
Okay, so Suleiman, that means his official declaration and the ceremony and all of that, how they usually do it, is going to be this Thursday. That's what it means.
Yes, based on his discussion today, because he said he has two constituencies, state and the national level. So now he discussed with those in state. So he is going to meet with those at the national level to make some certain arrangement. If the negotiation conclude, then he will move to APC. Since he said ADC, since he said ADC is the prepared platform, because it has all it takes to confront the ruling party APC.
All right. Suleiman is AIT's very own correspondent in BAUCHI. Many thanks indeed for joining the program tonight. And it's good to really see you. All right, Suleiman is AIT's correspondent in BAUCHI. Now let's move to another issue now. An of course, I already have one of my other guests, Honorable Daniel Asama. He's the House of Representatives member representing Jos North and Basa Federal Constituency. He joins me now via Zoom. Many thanks indeed for joining the program tonight. I can understand your mood at this time, but before I ask you anything else, let me commiserate with you on behalf of Dark Communications and, of course, on behalf of the entire crew of Democracy Today. Let me commiserate with you on the loss of those precious lives in Jos North in Angwan Rukuba community. It didn't need to happen. I understand how it feels, but may you and your people find the fortitude to bear this loss. Having said that, these attacks, what do you think? What do you think? Does it mean, would you rather call for reinforcement, right, of security apparatus, or will you now intensify call for creation of state police? Because it has also been, in the public discourse for a long time now.
Yeah, thank you, first of all, for commiserating with the people of Plateau State, in particular, the people of Angwan Rukuba in Jos North local government. I also still, at this moment, want to extend my heartfelt condolence to the immediate families, friends, and relatives of these people who lost their lives. This is indeed very painful. It is excruciating. As you could see from the pictures and from all the news you've gathered, it is unwarranted, and it is appalling that this thing keeps happening over and over again. It may interest you to know that when I assumed my duty as the member of the House of Reps for Basa Jos North, my first motion that I moved at the plenary was for the creation of state police, was for the issues of insecurity. At that time, it was happening in Miango community, Irigwe axis of the Basa local government, one of the local governments I represent. So I was vehemently pushing for the full implementation of the Police Act, which include the creation of state policing, or create the auxiliary policing, which is called the community policing. It is part of the Police Act. It is not necessarily something new. I will tell you 1,000 times, I'm an advocate of the creation of the state police. I believed in it yesterday, I believe in it today, I will believe in it tomorrow. We are borrowing a system of democracy that is coming from America. America has county police, it has state police, it has the FBI, it has the CIA. We can have these things and completely monitor and execute this kind of duties perfectly. I will tell you, I've been in close communication with my governor. My governor is also in support of state policing. He really believes in state policing. That will give governors the full executive right to be the security force enforcement person in his state. As it is right now, you know it. Security has to be enforced from the center. It has to come from Abuja. For whatever reason, he has to lobby with the police to be able to enforce any security lapses that he sees. It will be different when it's state policing. I understand the fears of some of my colleagues, even in the National Assembly, and other people who believe that the state policing could be abused by some state governors. This is the law. We're going to pass it as an act. It's going to be a law. Certain hypotheses. It's not just going to be all the governor, because we are afraid of what we don't know. We are not sure. We are not certain that these governors will abuse this. Why would we sacrifice the lives of people for what we are not certain of? I think it's a law that needs to be passed. I need to have guidance and parentheses that will guide the governance of this law. But I believe in state policing. I think that is the way forward. I believe the security forces in Nigeria are doing a lot, and I think they are overwhelmed.
Honorable Sama, let me ask you this. You see, as of very recently, the last election that was conducted by INEC, talk about the Anambra governorship election, the all-cycle election, the by-elections in Kano and Rivers State, and even the FCT elections, they all pointed to one thing: voter apathy. There is gross voter apathy at the moment. Now, the 2027 elections are approaching. Does this not, also threaten, the participation of the local community people, in terms of voter apathy, abstinence, and indifference towards the elections, therefore? These unnecessary killings?
Well, I can say yes to this. But
Honorable Sama, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, please go ahead.
I do not believe necessarily apathy chronically is coming from the point of lack of trust in the system. There has been deficit of trust between the people and the government. There has been a lot of trust issues on how elections were conducted and what the outcomes of the on mandatory voting, which we had to pull back out because of misconception and how people didn't quite understand it. We believe that people should come out and vote. And even if we're going to mandate it, we want to mandate it in a way that will give incentives. Maybe we'll give people incentives for participating actively in our elections. So what I mean is that I think people could turn it the other way. This could be the reason why people should come out and vote, rather than reason why they shouldn't come out and vote. But it could go there. It could go either way. If we see this in a way that it is for the progress of the people, we need to continue to sensitize, continue to educate people on the fact that they shouldn't give up their right. They should change themselves. They will deny themselves their citizens' right.
Honorable Daniel, let me ask you, in another dimension, the reason why I really asked that. Now, many people who happen to be victims of these, unprovoked killings, one thing is on their mind: survival, to stay alive and live their lives peacefully. Now, when people are not even sure that they're going to be alive the next day, the next thing they want to think about, or rather, the last thing they want to think about, is participating in civic duties and all of that. As I speak, I know you already know as well that many people have fled this community. So, if they are worried about their safety, will they even be thinking about, participating in civic duties?
Well, I want to, as much as sentimentally, that emotionally, from what you're talking, it could make sense. But if you look at it empirically from the point of how people perceive issues, it may not make sense. For instance, there is this angle where the governor had to come and address the people, and the governor has to cushion the effect by giving palliatives and rendering hands of help for the victims and all of that. Now, it is showing them that when you have a governor that is concerned, when you have a governor that loves you, you will still feel the impact. The governor will still be around you, even in your times of turmoil. So it is just about educating people to make them understand that when you run away from voting, it will not only be that people will be attacked, you may be attacked and not even have the kind of succor you're having right now. And like I said earlier, if we give the governor the necessary tools, he could possibly stop this. The people in Plateau, a majority of the people in Plateau understood that the governor has a good intent for the state. But his hands sometimes got tied by the system, by the law that we have in the country. So he cannot do it all. People understand the governor loves them. So that will mean that they can come out and vote. They understand, and we are trying to keep making them understand that we have a system, we need to adjust, we need to make it work. I'm grateful that the president's body language is not even body language. The president had made mention that he believes in the state policing. The president also believes in the state policing. I think it's getting to the point that it's going to stop at conversation and start to be an act. We need to act quite swiftly to bring this into bear, that state policing has to happen. I think one of the prominent ways is state policing. These people that were attacked in Angwan Rukuba, a lot of them would have been very ready to be able to withstand this kind of attack. And this attack did not just happen out of the blue. They must have gathered intelligence. in his hand, he would have mitigated it more than how it is presently practiced. I'm still insisting that people need to be educated, though. A lot of we need to cushion the people. We need to tell them that they still have to believe in the system.
All right, Honorable Daniel.
People are finding.
Honorable Daniel, let me ask you this last one. Now, considering the fragile nature of the security in these communities, including Angwarukuba and others in places in Jos North, can political gatherings still, record, large numbers of people who are ready to turn out and participate still, can it still be achieved?
Like I am saying, this could be the reason why there will be a large turnout, because the people may want to see a more reactive and a more proactive system. And I want to tell you sincerely that if you see the turnout that came out when the governor visited, you will know that people will still be willing to listen to the government. Really want to believe completely this would take people off from participating in political activities. But if we just have to educate the people that we just need to continue to believe in the system and put strength in it, do our own civic right, and see what will come out of it.
Honorable Daniel Asama is the House of Representatives member representing Jos North and Basa Federal Constituency. Thank you very much for joining the program tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you, AIT.
That's not all yet. Don't forget, you can also follow us on all social media handles, YouTube, X, and Facebook, and other social media handles, even TikTok as well. Now we'll take a break. When we'll come back, there's one more interview on another segment. I'll be back in just a moment.
Now break online. Don't miss anything from our real-time updates and exclusive content. Follow and participate in discussions on live TV studio programs to shape the narratives. Subscribe, engage, and share from AIT.live at AIT_online on X, AIT Online on Facebook, Official AIT Live on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads on YouTube. Stay connected with AIT. On air, online, on live.
Thanks for staying with us. This is Democracy Today on AIT. I have joining me via Zoom now a chieftain of the coalition ADC, African Democratic Congress, talking about Salihu Ladan. He joins me now via Zoom. Thanks for joining the program tonight. I believe it's sort of high spirits in the coalition ADC at the moment because of the, alignment and realignments and political calculations going on in your party. But what can you tell me, considering that there is still a lot of work to do and the expectation of many Nigerians are really high towards your party?
Well, thank you very much for having me.
I can hear you. Please go ahead. You appear to have muted your microphone. I would like you to unmute it, if you don't mind.
Now, we are good to go, I want to believe.
We are good to go. That's right.
Right. First of all, I'd like to, join your previous guest in, commiserating with the people of Plateau State over the incidents in Rukuba. I want to sympathize with all those who are affected, and I hope Plateau State will find a lasting solution to the circle of violence that has that is literally muting life, in that state. And I hope Nigeria, the issue of insecurity will be treated. Now to your question, look, the issue about politics in the ADC, we are very upbeat about what is happening. The optics politically are very encouraging. The kind of momentum that we are facing is not only positive, but it also gives an encouraging signal to the coming weeks, months, and years ahead. of a party that is undergoing, if you like, a political metamorphosis, a political re-engineering that will bring about, concerned, patriotic Nigerian citizens across all political divides that will come in and rescue the nation, because the nation is in dire straits. And that is why you can see that you can almost predict what will come next. I can, we are very, very, upbeat about the coming of, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso and his entire Kwankwasia movement in Kano. You saw what happened in Kano yesterday.
Okay.
It was great. And before that, you also know, you have it. We have, Rotimi Amechi. We have, the BAUCHI laws of this world. We have the Kashim Imam, who is, a mega politician from the Northeast. And you have, Peter Obi. And when you have all this put together with Atiku Abubakar, the icing on the cake, you can literally say that we have every right to be happy, to be buoyed by the kind of credible, quality and seasoned politicians that have all it takes to bring about the change that Nigeria, dearly needs. So I can tell you for free that the momentum, the kind of emotional feeling we have in the party with all these happenings is that, the ADC government is on a countdown, timeline to begin to think of, writing the handing over notes in 2027.
It is interesting to hear you mention, the names of the political heavyweights that you mentioned, right? But Nigerians are also very anxious to know how where the pendulum is going to swing in terms of the presidential ticket, because all the names you mentioned have presidential ambitions. Now, how possible is it that any of these candidates will, individuals will step down for another? Who will step down for who in the midst of these people who you mentioned? Because it may be interesting, but it's also very dicey at this time.
Yes, this is, your question is what we get asked every day. It's in the narrative, it is in the conversation, it is in the debates, it is in the permutations, and you can hear people talk about it. But, the cream de la cream of our own seasoned politicians, the leadership of the party, and those mega politicians that we've just mentioned are not particularly worried about who gets power, but who rescues Nigeria. They are all, on one page on the rescue mission, to save not only in Nigeria, but to save, the democratic culture that we have that is sliding towards a one-party state. So their own belief, and that's the belief shared by most of us in the party, all of us in the party, is that when you get to the bridge, you cross it. The emphasis now is not about who gets the presidential ticket. The emphasis is producing a credible, credit-worthy presidential candidate that will deliver on the manifesto and the programs and the vision and mission of the ADC. And we are completely unconcerned about all these permutations. We are concerned about the tragedy of a nation.
Okay.
We are concerned about the tragedy of a nation in crisis, the crisis of the economy, the crisis of insecurity, the crisis of out-of-school children, the crisis of, democracy that is, skewed on nepotism and nepotistic ideas that has brought anguish and anger and poverty to majority of Nigerians. So if you ask me, yes, when it comes to the issue of contesting for the presidency is the big issue, but we are more concerned as a party about the issue of rescuing Nigeria, and we have quality hands that can deliver.
All right.
And attempts have been made to make all these permutations in order to knock the heads of our own leaders, and it is not going to work. Our leaders are very much concerned and worried about what is happening in the country, and they are united in producing a leader that will, give democracy not only the needed momentum, but will give Nigeria the needed quality leadership that will be built on credibility and credit worthiness.
Are you also
that will
concerned?
deliver.
Are you also concerned about the fact that your population, in terms of the heavyweights? Yes, you mentioned these heavyweights already, but for instance, the ruling party that you intend to unseat in 2027 has got 31 governors as we speak. That's some numerical strength. That's some structural strength. That's financial strength. That's something to intimidate you. So how do you feel about that, therefore?
You have 31 governors that are, that are strong, but it's strength without power. Power is in the hands of He who gives it, God, the Almighty. A lot of those who defected from whichever party to the APC today, they are almost oblivious of the fact that God gave them the power to be where they are, and that it is not in their hands to decide how the pendulum swings when it comes to 2027. Remember in 2015 at one point, the PDP had, majority of parties almost equivalent to what we have today, and the PDP lost. So we are not concerned about the gale of defections or the number of governors that have left, their parties to the ruling party. And let me put it on record: no governor. This is a new party. This is a new, if you like, this is a new platform.
All right.
This is a new page for Nigeria. You can say that there is no governor that has left the ADC because this is a new beginning. And so we are laying the groundwork, the framework, the trajectory that will put an end to a momentum towards one-party state, but will also bring about leadership that will give Nigerians, the belief in who they are, and will give Nigeria, its rightful place in the Committee of Nations, in the practices and the principles and practices of democracy. I can assure you the ADC is well positioned to confront the odds in this direction. And you can keep this space for reference. It will not be a thing that will intimidate us as a party.
All right, no problem. That will be interesting to note. Let me ask you something regarding unity that you mentioned earlier. Now, you remember that the PDP has just had its own convention, and the APC has had its own as well. You are planning your own, anytime from now. Now, you remember the issue of unopposed candidates, the issue of nomination forms, the high cost, and then the issue of, consensus and what have you. What are your plans regarding, all of these issues when your convention comes to hold? Because it also unsettles some nerves as well in the APC and in the ruling APC. Some persons were aggrieved, and nomination forms were even out of reach of some aspirants. So how is yours going to look like?
You see, my brother, politics to me is about, positive thinking and strategic calculation. We've watched the convention of the two political parties. Everything was stage managed to give the impression that
is that what you called it?
Yeah, it was stage managed. It was. Look, when you saw what happened in the APC convention, the president arrived for just merely maybe 15 to 25 minutes, gave his speech and walked away, and, the vice president took charge. And you could see that the framework was just laid, the red carpet was laid for everything to be done that will align with the whims and caprices and the vision and mission of, the president to get endorsed. And yes, he was to be the sole presidential candidate for their party. Is that what you call democracy?
They called it due process, and according, of course, that it was according to the constitution of their parties, respectively.
Yes, it's due process in the eyes of those who want to manipulate the system, and they can come up with all polemics and prose and comprehension to want to convince Nigerians. No, we are a lot wiser than that. We saw what played out. At the end of it, what happened? Their own supporters were tear-gassed.
All right.
And so there were muffled drums of people who wanted to protest, and probably nobody wanted to listen to them.
All right, Ladan, our time is almost gone. Let's see, yes, what should Nigerians expect in the coming days. Our time is actually up, so
yes,
as we close now,
Nigerians should expect the outcome of the convention of the ADC.
And when is it holding anyway? Let me ask you that quickly. When is it holding?
The timetable has changed. Our leaders are working out they are crossing the T's and dotting the I's.
All right.
And we should get back to you on that. But the most important thing is that Nigerians should expect a party that will come up with not only a framework for quality politics, no, but with a strategic approach on how Nigeria should be governed going forward,
all right,
where everybody will have that sense of belonging, that is not only a Nigerian for the issue or for the count of numbers, but that he is a Nigerian that will be seen to be respected, to vote and be voted for, to participate and to be seen to be celebrated in victory, and to be, celebrated even in defeat. Because at any point when you win or lose, the country is actually the winner. So we are not going to come up with a kangaroo arrangement that will satisfy one section of the party or one or a number of individuals that are being talked about.
All right.
No, we are going to work with the principles of positive and strategic planning and thinking and approach, and we will deliver on our own promises, on our own vision and mission as a party.
I must thank you very much indeed.
From BAUCHI, let me just quickly tell you.
Okay, it has to be very fast.
That I can predict that Governor Bala Mohammed will join the ADC.
Eventually
he will.
We are watching very keenly to see how that pans out.
I am so upbeat about that, and this is my prediction going forward.
All right. Thank you, Salihu Ladan, the chieftain of the coalition ADC, the African Democratic Congress, for joining the program tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's our show for today. All too soon, the time has wound down. But not to worry, I'll be here again tomorrow. You can also find us on all social media handles. You can find me on all social media handles as well. I am Enemaku Ojochegbe. Bye for now.